How do I still not have Android 21? Oops. You can't actually buy Android 21 on PC as far as I know. Maybe I should start recording these videos on PS4 just so I can not out myself as a fraud. In Dragon Ball and in all fighting games, health is super important. For a lot of people, the way they view health could be as simple as just, let's not get hit. You know, I want to hit them more than they hit me, do more damage, and kill their characters. But in Dragon Ball, I think managing your health is a really huge aspect of the game, partially because we have blue health, as we see on the screen here, which is really interesting. And then also we have multiple characters, so we can swap in and out. I think in every team game, managing the health of your characters is really important. In Dragon Ball, I think it's even more important because of how easy it is to switch characters and how many different options you have for switching characters. And then there's a lot of recoverable health in this game. So blue health, which is on the screen, is all recoverable. And that's a big part of what I want to talk about today. So when I play with newer players and I play a full set with them and they ask me afterwards, what could I be doing better? You know, do you have any tips for me? What could I be doing to improve? Almost always what I will tell them is that they need to be managing their health better. And I understand that it's easy to fall into the trap of just thinking, well, how do I do that besides just don't get hit? But you have a lot of options in this game. You can recover blue health in a bunch of different ways. So obviously if you spark, all that health will come back, but we don't always want to be sparking. But if we hard tag and bring in a different character, now all that health is slowly recovering in the back, and all of that is recoverable as long as that character's not out front. There's a lot of things you could be doing to recover your blue health, but also just to keep characters alive even when you're not thinking about blue health in general. Because in Dragon Ball, and I would argue probably most team games, having a full team is incredibly important. The difference between having 2 assists and 1 assist or no assists is huge. You go from being able to stack 3 supers in a row easily, right? So that's 1, 2, and 3. Being able to do this at the end of every combo could be the difference between KOing a character or not. Having assists available so that you can mix up properly is really big. Just think about how strong it is being able to do something like this. Right, that kind of a mix-up is really, really good. Or we could even go for like, you know, left-right mix-up there too. Do you want to have a beam assist available in neutral? Well, if you let Goku die, then that's not happening, right? Do you want to have a fast assist so that you can get in off a super dash or even combo if the super dash hits? That goes out the window if I let Teen Gohan die. So keeping your team intact is super, super important in this game, especially because the stronger players get in this game, the better their defense gets. And opening someone up with a single character, with just one character without any assists to back you up, to set up mix-ups, is incredibly difficult. You're going to have trouble getting in because you won't have neutral assists, and you're going to have trouble opening someone up because you're not going to have an assist for mix-up. So keeping your, again, I keep saying it, but keeping your team intact is so important in this game. And there's a lot of things you could be doing to keep your team alive more often. So which of these 2 teams do you think is healthier right now? The one on the right has more overall health because Anchor Goku has full health, but the first team has 3 full characters. That means we have 3 assists that we can use for a variety of things. So we can stack supers, we can use these assists in neutral. You're almost always able to play the game to 100% of your ability as long as you have your full team available. So having 3 characters at low health might be better than even having 2 characters at full health. You could definitely make an argument that the team on the left with 3 characters at low health is more complete than the team on the right that has 2. You could definitely make that argument, and I would usually agree with you on that too. As long as you have your full team available, you can get more damage, you can win neutral easier, you can take fewer risks, you can convert for more damage, you can stack more supers. But isn't it as simple as simply just don't get hit or hit them more than they hit you? Well, in some fighting games, maybe you think that's the case, but in Dragon Ball, you have a lot of options to keep your characters alive. So before we get started, let's talk about blue health and just go over the basics of that, because that's going to be sort of like the foundation for everything else. So what exactly is blue health? Well, anytime you do damage, roughly, let's say, a third of all that damage returns as blue health. So you can see that on Kid Buu on the right. And then 100% of reversals is blue health as well. So that includes level 3s, such as that. And it also includes reversals like DPs. So Teen Gohan's Dragon Punch here, if I do a combo off it, all of this damage is going to return as blue health as well. But this blue health is recoverable, so we put a character in the back. So let's swap into Teen Gohan, and now all of that health is going to gradually start to come back. Another option you have is to simply just spark, and now all that health is going to return there as well. But yeah, so the state of your health, how much blue health you have, how much just regular health you have, whether you're one hit from your character being KO'd, or whether you have full health, these sorts of things affect decision making at every stage of the game. It affects everywhere from neutral to defense to offense. And that's what we're going to talk about mostly today. What kind of decisions should you be making in order to keep your characters alive? And what kind of decisions should you be making to get around your opponent trying to do the same thing? Okay, so my goal here is to swap out Teen Gohan. Even if Teen Gohan is the character that I want to play the most, if he's KO'd, he's not useful to me. So he's more useful to me right now as an assist than he would be on the front line, just because if I have Kid Buu in, now he has full health. Nothing's really going to kill him from full health except a few select hits, maybe into a sparking combo. But again, I don't want to have a character in that I know is going to get KO'd in the next hit. Let's put in a character that probably won't be KO'd in the next hit. And I guess this is a really important point, actually, because I think a lot of people get sucked into the trap of only wanting to play their point character because that's who their team is built around. But you need to be okay with playing all of your characters. So again, if Teen Gohan is a character that I want to play the most, but he's one hit from being KO'd, he's more valuable to me right now as an assist, where I can bring in another character who has full health or a lot of health where I'm not worried about them dying in the next hit. Because Teen Gohan is still a useful assist. I can use him for combos. I can use him to get in off a super dash. I can use him for mix-ups. And more mix-ups. And more mix-ups. And he's also useful just to help me dump meter. So something that's really big in Dragon Ball for a lot of people is they want to be able to do touch of death combos. And you aren't going to have those. Usually, you're not going to have those once you start losing characters. So again, keeping Teen Gohan in the back and keeping him alive and having his assists and being able to dump supers with him, having him alive lets me do something like this. Like, none of that would have been possible if I let Teen Gohan die earlier. So, oh wow, I didn't actually get the TOD. What did I do wrong? Okay, so now that we have the value of keeping them alive out of the way, how do we keep them alive? What can we do? Well, for starters, hard tagging is always an option to keep your character alive, but if you get too predictable with it, you're gonna get punished for it, which is not something you want. And in most cases, you can swap that character back in pretty easily, where now they will actually die in the next hit. So the safest way to swap is generally in a combo. So we can either swap immediately with a hard tag after like a launch or something like that. But in most cases, what you're probably going to be doing is swapping characters by doing supers. So we can end this combo with super, and let's say I want to play Kid Buu, let's do his level 3. And now we have Kid Buu's level 3 knockdown, which is pretty okay. It's a guaranteed knockdown. There's no up-teching allowed, there's no late-teching allowed. I know where they're going to be, so I'm going to get guaranteed pressure afterwards with a character that is healthy and not going to die in the next hit. And if you don't want to spend 4 bars this way to swap in a combo, you can just spend 3 if you do a half circle back into your assist. That'll get you straight to their level 3, or you could do the opposite with a half circle forward and do the assist to get a level 1. So that'd be good too. And this is generally the safest way to swap characters, where the opponent really doesn't have any counterplay to this. They've already been hit, they're just at the mercy of whatever combo you do. So here's a situation that I think we're all pretty familiar with right now. GT Goku is super popular, Spirit Bomb Oki is a big part of why. Just get a true 50-50, and the next hit will probably kill anytime you do it. And in this case, that's the case. So if you watch a tournament, you're going to see a lot of GT Goku, and you're going to see a lot of Spirit Bomb. But look at the health values right now. GT Goku is one hit from dying. So if you land a Spirit Bomb combo, you have a choice to make. Do I commit to the 50-50, hope it hits, and if it does, then I kill their character. But if it doesn't hit, and they somehow manage to get away from the situation, now I'm in a position where GT Goku's still on the screen. I have to somehow get him out because he will die in the next hit. So what you'll even see people like Goichi or Fenrich do now is you'll see them get the Spirit Bomb, and even though they can kill the character in the next hit, they choose to do the safe thing. They choose to bring in a different character instead, just because they don't want GT Goku to die in the next hit. Because they understand that their full team being available to them is worth more, and it's more consistent and safer to play that way. Although in this case, I wouldn't say you're wrong to go for the mix-up, because even if it seems a little bit greedy, it's a 50-50 that kills their character. No one's gonna blame you for taking that option. But if you ever see them give it up, now you know why. So you'll see someone like Goichi do this because they can see a potential path to them losing their character, and they want to avoid that as much as possible. As long as he has all three of his characters intact, he's going to have so many more options. He's going to be able to play a lot safer. He's much farther away from losing the game. He might not be as close to winning because he gave up the 50-50, but he's farther away from losing as well, and that's probably where a lot of their thought process comes from. So anytime you land a hit, I want you to think about two things. First of all, what kind of position are you putting the opponent in after that combo's done? And then what kind of position are you putting yourself in once that combo's done? So obviously, if you can kill a character, you should kill their character. If you can get that character out of the equation by any means necessary, you should do it, and no one's gonna blame you for that. Excellent. But if we can't KO their character, then ask yourself, is the next hit going to be able to KO? In this case, definitely yes. But again, what situation am I in when I finish this combo? What situation are you in when you finish your combo? So if I'm one hit from dying, maybe I want to swap characters. So if you're able to, maybe you just end with a different character's level 1, and that's even better. Now Teen Gohan's still available as an assist. He's not in danger of being killed in the next hit, and I can still use his assist for everything I want to use it for. And then of course, you probably also want to think about switching even if you can't KO, because again, you really don't want to have a character in that's going to die in the next hit. This thought process of the next hit can KO my character is what you really want to be thinking about the most, because you're going to be thinking about it and you're going to think, how can I safely swap characters? Your opponent's going to be thinking about it and they're going to think the same thing. How can I safely swap characters, or how can I stop them from swapping characters? This is where a lot of the decision making at a high level in Dragon Ball comes from. But don't think your character's health needs to be this low for you to be worried about swapping. I frequently will swap even at 70% health. 60 or 70% health, just because if someone has enough meter and enough resources, I know they're going to be able to make up that damage. And I would guess that off, let's say a 1M or 2M starter, that I could pretty reasonably KO a character. And that's a definite yes. Maybe 2 bars, probably 3, yeah. They didn't need the 5 bars. They could have done that with 1 bar start or 2 bar start. So even this much health is still a situation where I would consider swapping if possible. So if I land a hit with Teen Gohan in this situation, I might still choose to swap characters. Even though I can't KO their character, just because I want to avoid putting myself in that situation. This is definitely playing it safe, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But definitely keep in mind how much resources your opponent has. If they have a lot of bar, like right here, even something like a 2L starter is still potentially going to KO you at this health, assuming they have the resources to do it. And there we go. Yeah. So definitely keep your opponent's resources in mind. So definitely be thinking about whether you or your opponent are going to be trying to swap. This is going to help you make educated decisions in every stage of the match, whether it's neutral, offense, or defense. So they have low health and neutral, look for a hard tag. And ideally, get a good punish on them when you do. If they have low health on defense, they might still be looking to hard tag, so you can try to snipe that out and then bring that first character back in. Or they might be trying to guard cancel, in which case you'll want to be ready to punish that as well. This might impact how you structure your pressure because now you don't want to worry about guard cancel. If you choose to stagger mostly with lights, you'll probably recover in time and can punish the guard cancel. Maybe instead of doing a full block string into a special and an assist call, maybe you just cut it short and start staggering with some lights, probably letting you recover in time. And maybe you just never commit to the special so that you're always in a position to at least 2H the hard tag. And you could maybe structure your pressure by, instead of using an assist with a special move, maybe you just use the assist with a normal. So something like this to reset pressure is good because I still have the option to 2H off the 5M. But yeah, if they have low health on defense, they're going to look to get out somehow. They're going to be greedy and maybe they're going to hard tag. Or maybe they'll be holding the assist button, desperately looking for a gap wide enough to let them hard tag out safely. So you'll probably want to try sniping that out once in a while if you think that that's something they'd want to do. Another thing to consider when someone's at low health is that they're probably going to die in the next hit, no matter what you do. So this sort of thing makes the fast, low reward options like Broly's light command grab that doesn't get a combo on hit except for dumping supers, or even Goku's overhead. It makes these tools a lot stronger when they'll actually be able to KO a character. So again, if I'm Team Gohan in this situation, now I have to actually worry about that. Now I have to worry about the next hit KOing. Even from Super Saiyan Goku, if I'm Team Gohan in this situation, something like that's gonna KO. So let's say you're the one on defense here, even against like Super Saiyan Goku, really common character. Expect when your health gets this low that someone's gonna try to go for whatever is gonna get that hit. No matter how small that hit is, anything's gonna KO you, so you have to be more ready for something like his overhead, or if a character has a command grab that is pretty quick or unreactable, now you're stuck dealing with that. And last, what if you have low health when you're the one on offense? Well, expect that some people are gonna be greedy too. You could totally, if someone has low health, if someone's pressuring you and you have low health, then maybe it's worth being greedy and trying to hit the level 3 or hit a reversal, because that's a dead character. I think in this situation, you do have to be aware that if one reversal can KO your character, you need to be mindful of that. So does this mean maybe you take fewer risks on offense until you can safely swap out your character? Even something like a frame trap could be considered a risk. Or maybe you don't want to go for left-right mix-up in this situation as much because you don't want to get 2H'd. You know, maybe you want to go for like a same-side super dash mix-up or a cross-up, but these mix-ups carry the risk of getting 2H'd. So maybe it's not worth taking that risk if you know that next hit, if they're correct, could KO you. You don't want to put yourself in a position where if you're wrong, you'll lose the character. Anytime you can avoid doing that is probably a good idea. I'm not saying to never take risks, but try to limit how often you take that kind of risk. So we haven't talked too much about snapping in characters yet. And I think most people's thought when it comes to snapping is that if a character has blue health, snap them in so that you can get rid of that blue health. And I don't think that's entirely wrong, but sometimes maybe you give up a lot of damage for a small amount of blue health. And if that's the case, then maybe you want to just continue your combo, get the damage, get the meter, and get the knockdown. But I also see people not consider snapping in characters unless there's blue health. They'll completely ignore Team Gohan in this situation, who's at half health, just because he doesn't have blue health. But to me, what I see is that, like, let's say I get the hit on Kid Buu, I cannot KO Kid Buu, and maybe I don't have a great knockdown. So I'm still 1 or 2 hits away from killing Kid Buu here, and I don't have a good guaranteed mix-up. Or maybe we want to snap in Teen Gohan because he's 1 hit from being KO'd. So some of the biggest mistakes I see when I watch newer players or developing players play this game, the biggest thing is just they will never swap out their point character. And if that feels like you, then I really want you to pay attention and start thinking about your health and whether you should be swapping them out. Because this situation right here, where I have Teen Gohan who is 1 hit from dying, and then I have 2 totally healthy characters that would love to have his assist and would love to stack supers with him, this is not okay. We want to put Teen Gohan in the back any way we can. Yes, even though your hard tag might get sniped out sometimes, if you never hard tag, or you never swap characters in any way that you can, you don't end your combos in another character's level 3, that character is inevitably gonna get KO'd. Unless you just have an amazing match and never get hit, which is not gonna happen for most people. So yeah, if you feel like there's a time where you have an opportunity to hard tag and get away with it, do it. Please do it. Save your character. Or if you get 1 hit and your character's 1 hit away from dying, or you have a lot of blue health that you want to recover, please consider swapping characters and save that character. And to go along with this point, learn to love playing your anchors. Find things that you find enjoyable about playing them and actually try to make yourself play them more often. I think a lot of people get this feeling that, like, well, the point character is the only character I really want to play. If they get KO'd, I don't want to play the game. Or if I have to put them in the back, I don't really want to play the game. Let's just get this match over with and move on to the next one. I think that mentality is really bad because, first of all, the game in general is pretty fun. You can learn to enjoy the game with most characters, I would assume. And if you can find some like sick combos or sick mix-ups, even with a character like Goku, like this combo alone makes me want to play Goku. This is a fun combo. Just please be okay with playing your anchors. Try to find some fun in playing them. So kind of the counterpoint to that main mistake I see people have of never swapping is don't swap too often. I know this sounds like I'm backtracking a little bit, but just don't do it right away every time. If someone knocks you down, okay, so let's say we're Kid Buu in this situation. Teen Gohan just got a combo, knocked me down in the corner, and he knows that I'm 1 hit from dying and I want to hard tag right away and get out as fast as possible. So what a lot of people will do against like mid-level players who just started hard tagging a lot is they will just kind of back off, wait for the hard tag, and snipe it out with 2H. And then bring that character back in, and now the next hit's gonna KO, and ultimately we're in an even worse position where now we've lost that character, and now we have another character that lost a little bit of health. So I guess the point here is just to don't be too predictable with your hard tags. You can change the timing of when you do it, right? Instead of just doing it right away, maybe we play a little bit of neutral, like maybe we don't have to take any risks, we can just kind of dash around or jump around, right? We're not committing to any moves, we're not super dashing or anything like that. Let's play neutral for a little while and then let's hard tag. You know, we don't have to do it right away. If we change the timing of when we do it, our opponents aren't going to be as ready for it. Or just use your assist wisely so that you can swap out a little bit safer. So maybe we'll just cover them with a beam assist so that we can safely swap into Broly. And again, we don't want to do this every time. We don't want to be too predictable with this and do it as often as possible, because intelligent players are going to wait for the beam. They're going to be like, oh, I see the beam, I'm going to jump. He's going to try and hard tag. And what they could do is then like level 3 you, or depending on the character, they might just have an easy time sniping out the super dash that way. But you notice that if we want to call out these hard tags, if we want to safely deal with them, generally what we have to do is back off and look for it, right? So if we're on the ground and they aren't calling an assist, we can just 2H. If they do call an assist and we have to avoid it by going in the air, now we have to like, you know, try to snipe it out in the air. In either case, we're not committing to anything. We're just kind of chilling out full screen, waiting for it. So if we're Team Gohan in this situation and we see that our opponent is just chilling out full screen waiting for us to hard tag, right? What we can do instead is simply just run up and take our turn. And maybe go for a mix-up. And what's really good about this is we probably have assists available too, because if they're looking for hard tags, because we have an assist available in the first place. Because you can't hard tag if your assist is locked out. And the really cool thing about this situation is, like, if we get the hit this way, say we went for the mix-up, we go low, cool, we got a combo. Can we get the good one? We did get the good one. I love that combo. Now we can safely swap into a level 3 instead of having to risk a hard tag in the first place. So this is really cool. Again, this is ideal, is when it's guaranteed, that's when it is best to do it. Okay, so another one of the mistakes I see people make, probably one of the biggest ones, is that they will swap into a character in one way or another that has really low health. Maybe I just want to dump supers and get a level 3 knockdown, and I'll end this combo with Team Gohan's level 3, just because maybe I thought this would do the most damage or something, even though this isn't even optimal. But now I brought in a character that's going to die in the next hit. So even though I have the momentum, even though I have a level 3 knockdown and it should be my turn, there's still a path here where they defend well enough, they get out of the situation, and now I don't have any way to swap, and I lose my character in the next hit. I think a really common situation is when someone has their vanish blocked in the air and they know that they're negative and they want to win the scramble, they will hard tag in order to win the scramble. And if the other person's ready for that, obviously the hard tag, they could just get 2H'd and die. But even more so, if they just block it and chill out, now you have a character in that's, again, gonna die in the next hit, and things could go sideways for you real fast if the other person gets out of the situation and somehow lands that next hit in neutral. This kind of goes back into what we were talking about earlier, where if we can KO a character and swap characters at the same time, we can do that, but we don't want to bring in a character that is going to have low health, because we don't want to start the next round, basically, with Team Gohan in this case, who might die in the next hit. So our goal with this combo, we're not going to want to end with Team Gohan. I'm going to need to stack 3 supers, but we should make sure that Broly is the last one we use, not Team Gohan. And there we go. Now that we've gotten to this point, I want you to go and watch really good footage. Watch some top players, watch a top 8 at a major, and pay attention to when they choose to swap characters. Do they do it in neutral? Do they do it in combos? Do they hard tag? And when do they do those things? The next time you see Goichi get to a spot where he could Spirit Bomb with GT Goku and go for a really good mix-up, and instead he just swaps into a different character entirely, now you'll know why. Pay attention to how often this sort of decision-making comes up, and you'll kind of realize it's happening all the time in every match. If there's anything I want you to take away from this video, is that I want you to pay attention to your health values, your opponent's health values, and I want you to start to make decisions based on that information. And then also, you're probably going to enjoy watching high-level footage now more if you're thinking about these things, because these are decisions that are happening all the time at a high level. So even though this concept of paying attention to your health and trying to swap characters or not swap characters is really simple, it's a simple concept, even though that's the case, I wanted to cover it because it's definitely the biggest mistake I see newer players making. And it's almost always the feedback I give when one of them asks, what could I be doing differently? How can I improve? When I sit down and play a set with them, I'll tell them, well, you never swap your characters. You always leave in a character that's gonna, get KO'd in the next hit, and you don't want that to be the case. And maybe one step up from that, you're playing with an intermediate player and you want to give them advice. Maybe the advice is, hey, you hard tag too much. Every time your health gets low, the first thing you do is hard tag. Try to be a little less predictable with it, or try to do it in spots where it's guaranteed and it's safe instead. So anyway, I hope this video could help you out a little bit. I hope it gave you some things to think about when you're playing, or even just when you're watching higher level footage so you can enjoy it more. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more like it, feel free to subscribe to the channel or follow me on Twitter or whatever. There's more stuff coming soon. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.